Hello and welcome back to Charlie's House Call Auto Repair. Today we're working on an engine, a 3.5 from a 2006 Hummer. This engine was mechanically locked up. Somewhere along the lines it started turning, but we're going to tear it down, find out if we can what happened to this engine, and I'm going to show you a quick little teardown and just have no idea how this is going to go. So let's get into it. Get changed up, suited up, and get myself ready to start tearing this engine apart. I got to put it up on an engine stand, but I'm not going to do that until after the back end's torn off of it. I still have to drain the oil out of it. So yeah, this is going to be kind of extensive, I think. Degrees out here, so I'm going to bundle up nice and warm. Well, there's the Hummer. There's the removed engine. Still got to take the manifold out because there's no way I'm putting this engine back in with the manifold in there and in the way. We also have a broken stud to repair. Yeah, these motor mounts, these right here, see if I can, there we go. These right here are the biggest pain in the neck to deal with. They are incredibly difficult to try to get around. And this is our patient buried underneath here. The mothballs to keep the rodents away. And that's the little brand spanking new Pittsburgh engine stand we're going to be putting the engine on once we start getting this torn down. Show you guys, these are the engine mounts that sit in those two cradles in the frame. They sit in just like this, well, or like this, one way or the other, but either way, they bolt to the sides of the engine. Your balancer shafts are right in here on each side, so you can't really maneuver these. They're kind of difficult. You got to get all four bolts out of them from the block. You got to get the big bolt out of the middle. Slide these out of the way, and with the intake manifold in the way, the exhaust manifold in the way, this is very difficult to do. But this is like a Chinese finger lock puzzle where you can't get the engine out because these are going to hang you up big time. So you've got to get these out. Once these are removed from the sides of the engine, then you can lower the block down and you can get to the two bolts that are on the back side of the block up on the top, that are very, very, very difficult to get to. This is the front of the motor. I'm going to turn this thing around so you guys can see the back side that we're going to start tearing into first. Got to put the this flange back on to be able to lift it. Bolted the chain to one of the motor mounts through the block backwards, because there's no place up here that's strong enough to secure the weight of the engine. I don't trust any of these bolt holes or anything to be strong enough, so I went all the way down here. I didn't want to take any chances. These two bolt holes right here, very, very difficult to get at. Now this, one of your heater hoses, it sits on top of your transmission back here just like this. And because of the ribs on the transmission, you can't get down in here with any wrenches. Your firewall is right here, you've got no room. Once you've got those motor mounts out and you can lower this motor down, it'll buy you an inch, inch and a half back here to be able to get these last two bolts out. And I'll tell you, if you don't do that, you're really going to have a hard time, because you can't even get at these from underneath with a bunch of extensions. Now, in order to be able to lift the back of this motor up to where I can work on it, I'm going to have to put it back on the engine hoist and lift back up on this again, so that I can get the clutch assembly and all of that off. So we want mostly to be able to get to the back end of it. First thing we're going to do is get this pressure plate off, because I don't trust the impact to have the oomph to get these loose. Just going to put 14mm wrench on them and just break them loose. No idea what we're going to be reusing, so I have to take this apart with the intentions of being able to put it back together. So this is quite the heavy pressure plate. It's going to be fun. These dowel pins are probably rusted solid. One. Two. Hasn't gone anywhere yet. And 6. And that pressure plate is still big time stuck. The fingers are all sitting here uneven. Cut some bottoms off of a couple of 1-gallon jugs. A place to keep all my bolts. Now, where did I put that hammer I was just using? much. That disc is in really good shape. We got at least a millimeter to the first set of rivets on either side. You still have the ribs. Pressure plate. Oh wow, that's nice. Huh. And I might recommend a new disc, but we'll see. We can go out. This one here we can actually get away with going on the cheap and replacing just the disc or kit, but I'll leave that up to the owner, optional. But let's get figuring out what's going on with this engine first. All right, we got 8 massive bolts. What size are these? Those are 18s, I think. Yeah, as for giggles, let's see if this thing's got the oomph to break these loose. Probably not, but no, it does. Now keep in mind this thing is extremely heavy. So when this last bolt comes out, it might want to fall off, and be prepared for the weight. Wiggle on it. And there we go. That's the flywheel now removed. It's also a good idea to, in practice, to not set these on the ground. Sometimes they're magnetic, you never know. And it's not, but you never know, so you got to be cautious. And yes, I did just beat the daylights out of the front face of it with a hammer, but I didn't hit any machine surfaces that we need to worry about. All right. And our surprise is underneath this 10mm bolts. Yeah, joy. Alright, let's get the overkill socket, or get the 1/2-inch drive 6-point 10mm, and start popping these cover bolts off. Alright, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 2 underneath. Let's get these 2 on the bottom out first. Maybe. Will that work? Not without an extension, it won't. Be right back. Alright, take 2. Let's get these. That's tightening. Oh, that's loosening, okay. Lefty loosey. Alright. Alright, now no particular order, but I do like to do the reverse star kind of pattern. Take note of things like silicone on the bolt, oil or anything like that, coolant, length of the bolt. If there's any variation, you want to be sure you catch those. Wow, that sounded lovely. bolts are now out. They're all the same length, all 10 millimeter. Got them all out. We got a dowel pin over on this side and a dowel pin right there. A pry tab right here. So let's go get a pry bar. There, I got a couple of pry bars, screwdrivers, and a brake spoon. And we're gonna try to get in behind here. I can already hear it breaking loose. Be careful about where and how you pry. Do not want to overexert on a spot and break something. See, we got a dowel pin right there and a dowel pin right there. Those are going to be a little bit challenging. Now that I got some play in there, I'm going to just insert this and just let it sit there. Now, not hitting it hard enough to peen it. This is going to be fun. Left hand thread nut socket underneath this. Keep a note of that. Being real stubborn about wanting to come forward, but we have to roll it out. And trying to be gentle and trying to find spots that I can get into. There we go. Right here, that pin's not letting go. That pin is, but this one isn't. Do we have a hidden bolt underneath here? Oh, hell yes we do. Oh, hell yes we do. We got a hidden bolt right here. And see, that bolt doesn't do anything, but this one here probably does. I don't know, but I'm not going to find out the hard way. I'm going to go take this bolt out just in case. And this one up underneath here that I'm in question of is a 13. I have no idea if that actually goes up into this cover or not, but I didn't want to take a chance. So now let's get back to trying to get this cover off. It's slowly coming up on that pin, but boy, there's a lot of silicone right there. There's a big glob of it right there as well. So I think somebody's been here before. That's excessive. There we go. And sealer, cover, all covered in sludge. This is from not changing oil frequently enough. Set this over here for now. And here's our shaft. Let's get this out of here. Well, that chain's not exactly, it is hydraulic though. I don't see anything. Looks excessively damaged on this side other than like right here, this chain guide. I'm not so sure I like the way that looks. That's part of a plate that goes behind the chain. Just to get you a close-up of the chain and the gears. Condition that they're in, kind of yucky. But, yeah. This camera can see the chain better than I can. This is the part I thought there was something funny going on with it. It's this part right here moved. Yeah. Figure out what I'm going to do here because I think I got bolts that were too long. Now we got to figure out how I'm going to take up all of that space, probably with some lug nuts. Like every mechanic, there's tons of bolts. I always find something in here that'll fit on those studs. Why carriage bolts? Because it was the only thing the hardware store had that was long enough to do the job. Now I gotta go figure out what size these are so I can hold the other side still. Millimeter does the trick, I guess. So I want to make sure that as this thing goes onto the stand, nothing's going to wobble around. Now let's get this thing up onto the stand.